6:01 p.m. And if you can do the honors of doing the Pledge of Allegiance today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Vice Chairperson Cohens,
Present.
Commissioner Houston,
Present.
Commissioner Swamy.
present.
This is the time for the public to address the Planning Commission on items not on the public hearing portion of the agenda. After obtaining permission to proceed by the presiding officer, we request that speakers should first state their full name and address for the record, although this is not required. The speaker shall limit their address to 3 minutes. Any public comments that are discriminatory, defamatory, or otherwise not protected speech will not be considered, consented to, or otherwise adopted by the Planning Commission in its deliberations and findings. As a courtesy to others, please silence cell phones and other electronic devices. The Planning Commission strives to treat all participants with civility, and we ask that you do the same. Does anybody wish to speak?
All right. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Salvador George, and I do want to clarify this is not an item that's on the agenda. I serve as a representative with the Western States Regional Council of Carpenters, and I've worked in the construction industry for over 20 years. I come for you today as a representative, but as a concerned community member. It's been brought to my attention by the representatives that I work with who monitor the region that there is an evident pattern of exploitation, unfortunately, here in the city of Hawthorne. My team monitors jobs here across the region, and we've noticed a troubling trend. Hawthorne is becoming a hotspot for unscrupulous contractors. Time and again, we see projects within the city boundaries being built with no oversight, no accountability, and no standards. 3 main problems undermining worker protection. You have lack of labor standards. Contractors are not required to follow fair labor practices in Hawthorne. This invites a race to the bottom, where honest contractors cannot compete with contractors who exploit, who use exploiting practices. Rampant use of unreported cash-paid labor. Workers are being paid under the table, not to help the worker, but to benefit the contractor. These evasions means no payroll taxes, no workers' comp coverage, no unemployment insurance. And when these workers get hurt, which happens often in the industry, they show up at our public hospitals, uninsured, and the taxpayers foot the bill. You also have dangerous job site conditions. Construction is already a high-risk industry, but the basic safety rules are being ignored on these projects. I've personally walked on a job site here in Hawthorne last week, 5 stories of wood frame structure. There was machines generating heat and sparks, no active sprinkler system, no fire extinguisher, and no visible fire plan. One ignition in the building becomes a death trap. Why these matters to you and the city? This is about public safety, not just job site conditions. It's about protecting your residents, your taxpayers, and your reputation here as a city. If we don't enforce labor standards, workers are hurt, the community pays, and the city becomes a haven for bad actors. What are we here asking for today? Along with my brothers and sisters from the Carpenters, we urge the Planning Commission to take the lead, adopt strong labor standards for protecting projects moving forward, require proof of compliance with safety and labor laws, and hold contractors accountable, because no one should profit off of the backs of vulnerable workers. Commissioners, I'm not here today to point fingers. I'm here to ask for your partnership. Together, we can ensure that developments in Hawthorne reflect not just progress, but integrity, safety, and fairness. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Okay. Seeing nobody else, I will close.
And we got one more. That gentleman.
Oh, no, go ahead. Feel free to do so. This is the time to say anything if you wish to say anything. Seeing nobody else, I will close oral communications. Planning Commission consent calendar.
We have the minutes of the July 2nd, 2025 meeting.
I motion to approve.
I second.
He has to call for it now.
It's okay to abstain or not?
Not to abstain.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Houston
Approve.
and Vice Chairperson Cohens
Approve.
and Commissioner Swamy.
Approved.
Continue public hearings.
Item number 1 is design review application DR 2023-0021 for 11410 Menlo Avenue.
Now is the time and place to continue the public hearings to consider design review application DR 2023-0021. Senior Planner Maria Macherik will present the staff report.
Good evening, Commissioners. I will be presenting a new hotel at 11410 Menlo Avenue with the application number DR 2023-0021. As you can see from the zoning map, this property is located on the southwest corner of Menlo Avenue and Imperial Highway. Southeast, not west, southeast. These are the current site conditions. It is a vacant lot. It's been used on and off as storage for vehicles here and there, but it has been vacant for a number of years. And as you can see, it is located in this one corner, and you can see the 105 freeway on the bottom there. And there are some residential and commercial uses around it. Specifically to the south is an apartment building, and there's a couple of homes right adjacent to it on the east side, and a commercial building right on Imperial Highway. The proposal is for a new boutique hotel, which will be a maximum of 6 stories, about 78 feet in height. It will only have 57 guest rooms and 57 parking spaces. All of the parking spaces are valet, as they will have those lifts for the vehicles. So all the patrons will be arriving, and valet will be taking their vehicles to park. The proposal also includes about 9,000 square feet of amenities, which with a lounge, a hospitality and flex space, and a fitness room, which will be on the very top floor, on the roof. As you can see from the parking plans here, as I mentioned, it's 57 total spaces. It's 100% valet. There will be 11 parking stalls and 1 ADA stall on level 1, and 46 parking stalls, all mechanical, stacking parking on level 2. Here is a close-up of level 1 with the 11 parking stalls and ADA. And as you can see, the entry and exit is off of Menlo Avenue. Level 2 will have the 46 parking stalls, as I had mentioned, and they're all mechanical stacking vehicles, for the vehicles. In the lobby, you will find, as a patron, when you come and visit this hotel, you'll have the lobby and the check-in. There's a workroom there, the parking, and all of the mechanical and electrical rooms, some restrooms, and the valet office and the luggage area will be located on that first level. Here is a close-up of it again. On levels 3 through 5, there will be 19 guest rooms on each floor, to a total of 57 guest rooms. And on level 6, which is the very top floor in the roof, you will find the lounge, the fitness center, the hospitality, and flex space. And here is a close-up look of what levels 3 to 5 will be appear to look like. On level 6, there is the lounge and fitness center, as I had mentioned. And in terms of the landscaping, remember, this is a design review, so one of the things that we focus on is the landscaping. As you saw from the existing conditions, there is absolutely no landscaping. It's a vacant lot, there's only a wall. And the applicant is proposing a lot of landscaping along the whole perimeter of the hotel. This is a close-up of the perimeter of the hotel with all of the landscaping that's being proposed. The rooftop will also have a little bit of landscaping, along with tables and a fireplace, a little green area, and that's all for the patrons to utilize. We have placed in the conditions of approval a time limit as to when the area can be utilized, so that although it's away from the residential uses around it, it is still a good idea to put in a condition of approval for hours of operation. And here is another close-up of the terrace. And they are proposing a number of different plants on the floor level, of course, and on the 6th level. So they have a variety. Nice plants, drought tolerant. It will beautify the area. The elevations, the maximum height of the hotel is about 78 feet, as you can see from these elevations. Here is another view of the north elevation with some of the materials that will be utilized. One of the things I'd like to point out is that in that second level parking, they are proposing some like rails, more like industrial, more modern looking rails to hide that a bit more so that the adjacent uses can't really see through. And there'll be plants and such. Here's another view of the hotel, the elevations. And again, another view of the materials and the west elevation of the hotel. Here's an overall view. You can see Menlo, which is a side street, and Imperial Highway fronting the hotel. And a few more views. It is a very modern design with modern materials. I do want to point out that it will be kept at 15 feet setback from the surrounding uses. And that concludes my staff report. And staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt the Notice of Exemption and PC Resolution 2025-08, which will approve the design review for this hotel. If you have any questions of staff.
Okay. Well, does the Planning Commission have any questions for staff?
Considering this is a design review, I don't have any design questions. I have other questions, but this is a design review, so I'll stick to those.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have any questions, Ruby.
I had questions, but, well, I do, well, question is, there's a wall surrounding the building. How tall is that wall?
Minimum is 6 feet. I can have the architect respond to that a little bit more clearly.
Okay. I want to kind of go back. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with it. I want to discuss CEQA real quick. Okay. I just want to get some clarifications because we did have some residents. They had some questions before that I would like to have answered as well. Is there an easement on the property?
An easement?
Yeah. They mentioned the easement, not sure if that's hearsay or not, but is there an easement on the south side, like an electrical or telecom?
I believe the easement is on the adjoining property, and it was a telecommunications easement, but it's It's not on this property, it's adjacent to it.
So it lies just close to the property, but not
Adjacent to it. I mean, right next to it.
literally adjacent to it?
Literally adjacent.
So when you say adjacent, I'm thinking next
No, I mean
to
adjacent.
against
But budding.
that wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a condition about that easement? Just make sure that there's no problem, I guess,
Well, there is
medicine or
a,
whatever. They would have to get some type of approval? Just to make sure it's clear. Just
well,
make sure they're
to the,
following
to,
regs.
yeah, I mean, if the, it's difficult to put a condition on another property that's not the applicant's.
Okay.
So, no, is the answer in short. The easement holder may have, you know, like, for example, if it's SCE, they have regulations on how close you can get to certain infrastructure that they have, and that applies whether there's an easement or not.
Okay, so basically, I just wanted to get a clarification on that as to say, if there's any type of issue and there's an easement, I guess they'll have a clear pathway.
Yes.
Just in case, or
And-
if they do need to knock it down or whatever, it's gonna be basically not the responsibility of this hotel or this owner, it'll be responsibility of the adjacent owner.
Yeah, well, they'll have to
because-
stay within their easement to do whatever work they need to
Exactly.
do.
Okay,
And Maria, remind everybody what the setback is there at the,
It's 15 feet.
it's 15 feet.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's probably well within their
That's what I was
requirements.
thinking too.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure on that one. Also, let me see here. On this particular property as well, was it an auto shop? What was the use of this land, the usage of this land? Was it an auto shop or something like that? And the reason why I'm asking is because I just want to make sure that there's no contamination of the soil itself. Not sure if that was a hearsay or not, or I heard somebody say something about oil spills and all this other stuff. Just want to clarify that this land is not contaminated in any way.
It was a parking lot. I mean, it was a storage lot.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
no more contamination than would normally be found on a,
Okay,
on
so
a
there was
parking lot.
not like
but if,
a gas
yeah,
station or
it's
something.
it's
That
not,
has
it's-
nothing to do with anything.
there was
Okay.
nothing that would cause us to suspect that there was anything deeper.
Okay, that was just a clarification. Also, the vandalism and wall security on that south side. I'm not sure right now the conditions, that I heard that somebody, you know, they jump walls and whatever. I'm assuming since this is going to be a project, I'm assuming that that'll help the area where you probably won't even have those issues,
We agree with you.
you know,
Yes.
so, I just wanted
Vacant
to.
lots do attract that kind of activity, whereas a nice hotel will probably not.
Okay, because I saw somewhere here in the CUP something about security cameras and so forth. What is that all about?
Well, I mean, even in a situation where, you know, where it's not going to be a vacant lot and be an attractive nuisance, there's still spaces where there's landscaping and so forth that have to be monitored. So cameras would be the appropriate thing to have there to deter anyone from trying to get into the property.
Oh, okay, I mean, I'm all good for cameras,
Yeah.
but I was asking, so because I saw there was a CUP there for cameras and so forth, which was great. Whoever wrote the CUP did a great job, by the way, but let me see here. Answered a couple of questions, just one second.
So these the conditions are all been resolved already.
And you also mentioned right now it was going to be 4 hours of operation. I thought it was going to be longer than that. I mean,
No,
for
not
the,
4 hours. You mean for the rooftop amenities?
Correct.
No, we've put a condition of approval for specific hours that they can operate.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's 7 to 10 or 8
Correct.
to 10.
okay,
Right.
okay, I thought you were limited it
No,
even shorter.
no,
That's
no,
why I was like, did
no.
something change?
They're
I
limited
just wanted to
after
make
10
sure,
p.m.
you know, because we always want to try to help out businesses, by the way. So, you know, I just want to make sure that there is not too many restrictions on businesses. Let me see here, just one second. And can someone just address the egress and ingress to that property going into the Menlo side, the Menlo Street? And that would be my last question, I think.
Let me find a good photo of it. Right there. as you can see on Menlo, there is an entry and exit way right on the bottom there. And then there's like a U-turn. So if somebody comes in, they could always go out, like if you're dropping someone off. So when they enter, a valet will be taking the vehicles and parking them. Does that answer your question? If you can see there from the on the bottom?
Yes. Now, the question I have is, I know at the end, is this property is blocked off. Am I correct on that? When you go down Menlo, there is, on the road, it's basically a dead end. Am I right?
No.
No?
No.
Is it all the way going through?
Yeah, it goes through.
Oh, okay. So basically, when they leave their car, valet's gonna make that turn back into?
No. They can go right into the hotel right there. Off of Menlo, there's an entry and an exit.
Okay.
And then there's a little U-turn area too. So when the vehicle enters, they can go right into the first level of parking, in which the valet will be taking the vehicles.
Okay, guys, so it's straight through.
Yep.
Okay, got it. Not that. Okay, I
So-
was
so
thinking
this,
that they were gonna do the loop.
This decorative entryway is for people that are being dropped off by Ubers and taxis and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. There, okay. Sorry, I have my notes here. Okay. Is the applicant present, and do they wish to speak?
Thank you, Maria. Good evening to the commission. Appreciate you hearing our project tonight. My name is Tom Bergerson with AO Architects, based in Orange, California. And I'll keep it brief because I think Maria did a great job. But just to touch upon some of the points that you asked, is that as Mr. McLean stated, the second driveway there is mainly for where your car is dropped off by the valet. You can get in. It's also where Uber or shuttles or anything like that to the airport or up to SoFi or wherever you're going would pick you up. When you arrive in your vehicle, you're coming in the south side of the south driveway and you pull in, and you could either stage the car there and the valet attendant comes out, or if there is a number of cars coming at one time, there's 11 parking stalls that you could park in and just leave your car there and then give the valet your keys. So the staging is all worked out, but no guest would drive up to the second floor. That's 100% valet to get up to the second floor, and that's where the stackers are. So there's two levels at each stall. So that's how we achieve the parking. So hopefully that answers your question. You asked a question in regard to potential contamination. There was extensive technical studies, including the soil analysis, and it was showed that there's no remedial action that's needed. The site is literally deemed clean, so we have no issues there. As it was stated, I believe it's been used for a parking lot for car staging. What happens there, I'm not sure. But there's no oil spills, there's no contamination that needs to be addressed there. And that's in the documents and the technical studies that the consultants, a third-party consultant, did those analyses. And as far as the easement, we had an ALTA done on the property. There's no easements that would encumber our site. If there is an easement that's adjacent to us for a utility, we'll be in coordination with those utility companies because we obviously are going to have utilities built on site. And we'll be coordinating with the various, Southern California Edison and the Water District and other communication utilities. One thing to clarify also on the parking, it will be screened with perforated decorative screening so that the cars on the second level are not really seen. There might be a shadow, a little bit of light can come in, but you're not going to look in and see cars up on that second level. Another thing I just wanted to point out on the roof level, I don't know, Marie, how to change this, but we designed, there you go, back one. Yeah. If you notice, the deck that we have is only on the street-facing side, so on Menlo and on Imperial Highway. To be sensitive to the neighbors, we have no deck. Occupants cannot go onto the deck on the east or south side. And then everything else is just happening indoors on that top level. The ground level is what we call an urban arrival. So there's a lobby, there's a front desk, but your guest amenities are all up on the roof level. So that's the way this hotel is designed. So that's all I have to say. It's just basically just clarifying some of the questions that you had, but we appreciate you hearing us tonight. If you have any more questions, I'm welcome to, or I'm here to answer them. So thank you.
Is there anyone who wishes to address the commission on this issue?
Good evening. My name is John Tafoy. I'm a representative with the Western States Regional Council of Carpenters. My comment is more in a question form. When you prepare to cast your vote, based on plan review, building compliance, building compliance, environmental compliance, ask yourself, is this project in compliance with ethical codes? What does this mean? This means, is this project being built with the safety of the workers in mind? Fall protection, fire hazards, as it was mentioned earlier. Is this project being built, with a livable wage for its workers in mind? Is this project being built with some kind of health care provided for these workers? Is this project being built with some kind of retirement in mind for the workers? Something that they can retire with dignity after their bodies are beaten up from the hard labor of construction. Ask these questions to those developers. Hold them accountable. Don't let them pass the buck to the general contractors. Ask them if they're in compliance ethically. You're in a great position to see that all projects in this great city are built with pride and moral values, not just the bottom dollar. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak?
Yes, good evening. My name is Corey Crocker. I'm also a representative of the Western States Regional Council of Carpenters, as well as a member of Carpenters Local 323. And I'm here tonight with my fellow brothers and sisters. Kind of like what my coworker stated, I kind of want to add. So, esteemed members of the Hawthorne City Planning, again, I'm here to ask that you continue this project until you can ensure that labor standards are upheld on this project and every project in the city. As Hawthorne grows and develops, it is vital that we protect the workers who are building our community. Labor standards are not just a set of rules. They are a commitment to fairness, safety, and dignity on the job site. By ensuring that these standards are met, we protect the health and well-being of every worker, prevent unsafe working conditions, and guarantee fair wages for those who contribute to the city's growth. Strong labor standards are also promote higher quality of work. They ensure greater efficiency and fewer delays, ultimately leading to more successful projects. When labor standards are ignored, the consequences are clear: unsafe working conditions, exploitation of workers, and a tarnished reputation for the city. Let's ensure that Hawthorne not only builds strong infrastructure, but also fosters a strong, just, ethical foundation for its workers. I urge you to make labor standards a priority for all projects, because when workers are respected, the entire community thrives. As my colleagues have stated earlier about the job sites in the city of Hawthorne, we ask that you join us on a tour of these types of job sites so you can see firsthand what we're talking about and actually speak to the workers. Again, I ask that you continue this item until the developer has the opportunity to commit to labor standards before approving this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak? Does the applicant,
We got one more.
oh, sorry.
Hi, good evening. I was here last time that we talked about this, and I am a homeowner that is next door to the building of where this hotel is going to be built. And I had expressed my concerns regarding parking. Right now, as I mentioned last time, it's horrible. I will tell you where I parked tonight when I left my office in downtown LA to get home. I parked in front of their building, where the parking space, because that's the only place where I could park. because there is no parking. There's so many apartment buildings already as it is, and a lot of cars. So I'm concerned. I've lived in this home since 1981. So when they started building the 105 freeway. Okay, I'm not that old, y'all. It's a family home, but I'm
young.
concerned. Thank you. I'm just really, really concerned about where are we going to be able to park? Where are the folks that will come and visit someone who's staying at that hotel? Where are they going to park? Are they going to park on our street? Because it's already a hassle as it is for the homeowners that live there. So that really has me concerned.
Okay.
So I don't know if this is the platform for me to discuss that with you all, or do we find solutions? Do we have other meetings to talk about solutions, resolutions to this issue? Because Hawthorne has a major problem of parking.
Okay.
So that's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Okay. Does the applicant wish to respond to the comments that were made?
I'll just make one response to the last speaker, which we totally respect. I understand the circumstances. But a hotel like this, we have the parking requirements. We're meeting the parking requirements. We have 57 guest rooms. We have 57 parking stalls. That's the code requirement. And what we're finding in the hotels that we develop around the United States, because of the way people travel, especially in close proximity to event arenas and the airport, they take shuttles and Uber. So we think that this parking structure would be probably never more than 70% utilized. So we're always going to have a surplus of parking. Our guests do not want to park on the street or down the street. They will stay on site, and we have valet attendants that will be taking care of them. So although I understand your circumstances, I feel very confident that we have a robust parking solution that's going to exceed any of the uses that really are going to happen as we operate the hotel. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McLean, are there any documents to place into the administrative record?
No, they're not.
Do my fellow commissioners have any final comments on this item or questions for staff?
No
I
questions.
have no further questions.
I always have questions. No, going back to the parking spillover, if there is any, I see that on page 7, which is items 10 and 11, I do see that it does specify valet-only parking, and also there is 57 spaces on site. Also, let me see here. Guest access to parking is only via approved plans. Third-party valet company must have written permission. I see that in the CUP or in the Exhibit A, there are agreements that are written in here regarding the parking. I would suggest maybe, or I'm not sure if it's even necessary. I would ask you, Mr. McLean, adding language about the enforcement or signage to discourage guest self-parking in nearby residential streets. Is there is there any way that they can maybe put a sign up there to discourage it, like basically saying like an enforcement or signage? Just to discourage
Do you
it.
mean in the hotel lobby or
No,
at
not
the
in the
front
hotel
desk?
lobby,
You mean
outside.
on the street?
Yeah, just in the street, just, to discourage anything
Unfortunately, no.
for...
Public parking is available for the public.
Okay.
We can't say guests of the hotel are prohibited from parking there, although I do agree with the applicant that guests will not park there. I mean, I'll be honest, that part of Hawthorne is not the place where somebody who's coming on a business trip is going to want to leave their car. So they'll park in the valet.
Okay.
It's not meant to be a dig, but I mean, even I'm sorry, but let's face it.
We,
Are there any further questions from the commission?
yeah, if anybody has, if they need to speak or anything like that, we do allow those times. Unfortunately, right now, everything that has been said. That's why we allot time to speak. So if anybody needs to speak, make sure that you use and utilize those circumstances when you're able to speak. Please do not just reach out and just start
If I
rebutting
may,
back. Thank you.
I really did not intend to
Yeah.
be dismissive or put down the residents in any way. It's not the residents that are the problem. But we have parking problems in every neighborhood of the city. Everybody's aware of it. Okay, we also have, the requirements for hotel parking. This one meets the hotel requirement parking. And it is our position that the number of guests that will seek to park on the street would be almost none. I'll just leave it at that.
And if I may just clarify real quickly, you're talking about the conditions of approval as to the required parking spaces. They are in the conditions of approval, which the applicant will have to abide by.
Correct, yeah, I saw that. That's why I wanted to just say it out loud. I knew it was in there, just wanted to clarify with everybody else that the parking has been covered, and they have 57 parking spaces, which is actually a lot of parking spaces. And like I said, I do live in hotels, that's my second home. But 57 parking spaces, and also we're near transits and stuff like that, so really, they don't really need to give us any parking. But 57 spaces is actually a major plus in this instance. Let me see here. Is it for me? I now formally close the public hearing on these items. Do I have a motion?
I motion to vote.
Okay,
Approved.
not yet.
Wait,
Second, okay.
it's a roll call vote.
Getting a little ahead of myself here.
Yeah, so
How
who
about
makes
a
the
to
motion?
approve? Okay,
I motion.
and then second by Somi.
Yes.
Was that a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, yes.
Okay, Commissioner Houston?
I just want to say that I am approving it only because this is a design review, and that's what we are approving for right now. I hear all of these other concerns. They are very valid, and I take them to heart for other things when we can vote on those types of situations and we can have bigger conversations to them. Hands are a little tied right now on what we are allowed to say and vote for on this specific measure, but I do hear you, and I thank you for coming, and it is on my notes and in my mind for when these happen. And I love the idea of a tour on certain things, and I will gladly take you up on that. So, on this, I vote to approve.
I vote to approve as well.
Commissioner Swamy, yes. Okay, Vice Chairperson Cohens?
Approve.
Okay. I do want to reiterate that this was a design review, and we are required to have a nexus between the conditions of approval and the project itself. And although the comments that were made outside of the parking were worth considering, it's not the appropriate application to do that because there's no nexus between the design of the hotel and the use of proper labor standards and so forth. So we're not. That's why there's no discussion on this. Okay.
Secretary? Wait.
Yes, we're on to new public. Let's see. Am I got the right one here? I think my pages got messed up here. Hold on.
Did we have a vote? Did we have a vote?
Okay. Pardon me?
I'm sorry, did we have a vote?
Yeah, the vote was, this item was approved 3-0. For new public hearings, we have conditional use permit CU 2024-0008. This is, and also design review application DR 2025-0004. The application is for 11523 Hawthorne Boulevard.
Now is the time and place to open the public hearing to consider conditional use permit CU 2024-0008 and design review application DR 2025-0004. Wait a minute. Is that right?
Yeah, there's two
Yes,
applications.
two.
Okay, yes.
There's two applications. I know
Senior
that.
Planner Maria Macherik will present the staff report. And I'm sorry, am I saying your last name correct?
Maharik.
Maherik, okay.
That's okay. Everybody says Majerick.
Okay, so yeah, Maherik,
Maharik.
okay.
No problem. Good evening, Commissioners. I will be presenting two applications in one presentation, but you will be voting separately for each, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But this is for the KFC fast food restaurant at 11523 Hawthorne Boulevard. It is in the CR Regional Commercial Zone, as you can see from the zoning map, and it's a very large site. These are the existing conditions. If you've driven or gone, visited this particular restaurant, it's a Taco Bell and KFC in one. And it's in one building on a very large lot. And here's a view from the street. And one of the things I do want to point out from this particular location, if you can see from those little circles there, on 115th Street, there is a permanent barrier. So this is not a through street. So this is off of Hawthorne Boulevard and 115th. So as you can see from, again, from the aerial and from the street view, vehicles can't go into the residential area from this particular location. So here's the site plan and parking. The lot is comprised of 2 parcels, and it's 30,927 square feet. The existing building, as I mentioned, is a Taco Bell and KFC combined with one existing drive-through. And it's a small building. It's not a very large building either. It's just about 2,600 square feet. The new KFC restaurant, or the new building for the KFC, is to separate the uses, each in their own building, and they will each have their own drive-through. The CUP before you is for the drive-through, and the design review is for the design of the new building and the property and landscaping, etc. So the existing drive-through is going to remain at the Taco Bell. The new drive-through is for the KFC. The designers did a good job of making sure that the menu board is at least, it's over 100 feet away from the residential uses that are adjacent. And also the fact that the street doesn't go through, any guests arriving onto this property will not be able to get onto 115th Street or exit to go into. They are forced to making a right turn onto Hawthorne Boulevard. In terms of the parking, they are going to provide 37 parking spaces. This includes 2 ADA parking stalls, and they will be sharing the parking. They will be building a brand new trash enclosure for the site as well. Landscaping. Right now, there's not a whole lot of landscaping there, but the developer will be placing all new landscaping throughout the entire project, trees, everything. So they are going to beautify the parking lot more so, and also around the perimeter of the lot as well. As you can see, there's a number of plants that they're proposing, as well as trees. And they're large canopy trees too, which will be very nice for this property. These are the elevations. It's not a very tall building. It's just a little over 18 feet in height. It's a small building. They're going to be using their traditional KFC colors. It's going to be a bit more of a modern building, as you can see from the renderings here. So it's a modern building, like I said, modern material, small, its own drive-through. So it'll separate the patrons from Taco Bell and KFC and hopefully get them moving a little bit faster through. So this concludes my staff report. As I mentioned, the CUP is for the drive-through. The design review is for the design of the entire lot, and specifically that one building too. So based on the analysis, staff does recommend the commission adopt the notice of exemption. And there's 2 resolutions, PC 2025-10 and PC 2025-09. And 10 approves the design review, and 09 approves the CUP itself. And that concludes my report. If you have any questions.
Does the Planning Commission have any questions for staff?
Actually, I've got a question. based on the layout of the two drive-through, at their max, is there gonna be any confliction between cars coming in and out in that space and how?
No, because, so the entry points, there's two separate entry points.
Okay.
Where the KFC is, there's an entry point like right off of Hawthorne Boulevard. That's the closest to Hawthorne Boulevard is the entry point to the KFC, and it will exit out into the parking lot by 115th. So they'll have a choice to turn right and right onto Hawthorne Boulevard, or turn left and get onto Hawthorne Boulevard from that end. The existing drive-through, which is the Taco Bell, as you can, I don't know if you can see, but it's right in that little corner is the entry into it, and it exits directly onto Hawthorne Boulevard.
Got it.
So when they are exiting, they will not be bumping into each other at all. You're welcome.
Do you have any questions at all?
No questions.
Okay. And how wide is that drive-through in the new building? Which would be, on the south side.
I don't have the width. Let me see if the applicant. Here we are. Do you have the width of it? Can I see? Okay. It's at least. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Commissioner, I don't have that, but it's at a minimum 10 feet, if not wider at some point, especially the entry, because it only accommodates one vehicle, so it's between 10 and 12 feet. So it's not a drive-through that allows for two vehicles to enter. Just one at a time.
Okay, so we don't know the width on that. So you said it was gonna be
I can
a
check on
minimum
that.
of 10 feet? And the reason why
Right.
I'm asking is, I know I go to that restaurant, and that little drive-through, maybe it's because I have an SUV, and I always have to back up just to get in there.
It is a very old drive-through, original for sure. The new drive-throughs, as you can see from when you turn, they do make it a bit wider so the vehicles can turn. If you can see that turn right there for the new drive-through,
Okay.
they do make it wider there so that my car's large too. So when you're done ordering, then you are able to move out and make that turn easily without
Okay,
backing out.
because I am looking at the picture. So you're saying that they're going to take off all that on the other side as well? They're going to go
No.
ahead and they're not going to mess with that
There-
side at all?
Nothing's happening
gonna
with the
be-
existing drive-through,
Okay,
only
but-
the new one.
Okay, so on the other side, it does have that angle.
Right.
I wonder if it's bigger. Is it bigger, or is it basically going to be identical to the opposite, to the other
No.
restaurant?
No, especially that
wider on that
turn will be
turn?
wider, yes.
It will be wider.
Yes.
Okay. And that
Because
was my
the old
concern.
one doesn't really have that.
Correct.
It's 12 feet.
12 feet, okay.
It's 12 feet.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Nathan.
at its narrowest. I pulled up
Okay.
the agenda from the city website.
Okay, now do you know what is existing now on the other side? Is it
There's
also
nothing
12
there.
feet?
Oh,
no,
it's not part
that's-
of the scope of this
that's not
project.
part of
so
the
it's not
scope.
on the-
The CUP
I
is
was just going to try to
only-
compare it to see.
The CUP is only for
Yeah.
the new drive-through.
Correct, and that's why I was just going to see if 12 feet, okay, but this is the thing. It does appear that there's that wide angle, and plus when you enter it, that little edge is kind of open as well. Is that going to
Yes.
be open? It's not, I'm trying to look at
Yes.
this picture.
So the entry point is wider as well,
Okay.
to accommodate that turn for the vehicles
Okay,
to go through.
okay. Is the applicant present, and do they wish to speak?
Good evening. Planning Commissioner. I'm Rachel Valiente. I work for RBD California. We are the operators of the Taco Bell KFC store in Hawthorne. I would like to address the parking, the drive-through. We have built 7 stores in the last 3 years, and this is one of the things that we have been really careful because I'm not a good driver. So so if you can see, the entrance is wider and it allows you to do the curb. And all our sites that we have built, the 7 that we have built, we have had no problems. I do know that the existing one is a bit of a challenge, but we can come back and look at we can look at it outside of this one.
Okay. Let me see here.
The other thing too is that there's a lot of homeless in this area, and it's a parking lot at the moment, and I think having this one, getting it really well lit, would be really beneficial even for the community behind us. We wanted to make sure that we were in the front, not at the back, not close to the residential, because we don't want any of those noises. But just for your information, we did do a noise study in the store that we built in Southgate, and our noise is really, really low. We don't generate a lot of noise.
I know that, actually.
But we were required in Southgate to do a noise study, so we did that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for considering. We would really like to get this project.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to address the commission on this issue?
My name is Lolly Walker. I'm a resident of
You can
Hawthorne.
lower it. You can lower the speaker. There we go.
Okay. I just have a question about this new drive-through. Where do you exit? Because, as you mentioned before, on 115th, they have that obstruction there. But I thought she said something about coming out on 100. Right. On 115th, isn't there an obstruction? Where's the obstruction?
I think it's best if we have that question and then the commission can ask staff for clarification after you're done with your public testimony.
That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Marie, will you go back to the picture where the obstruction is with the circles, please?
Wait, hold on one second before you do that. Let's back up just a second. Anybody else have any other questions before we proceed? Or anybody else wish to speak? Okay.
The street view, there's a permanent barrier there that vehicles can't enter onto the residential street.
We're saying they're.
So the exit for the driveway is where the existing driveway is. It's on the east side of the barrier. So anyone exiting on the north side of the property will not be able to make a left turn. They'll have to go right toward Hawthorne Boulevard. So the barrier is a little bit further to the west than the edge of the property.
Correct.
Or it's right at the edge of the property,
Right
basically.
there.
Yeah.
It's right at the edge.
Okay. Does the applicant, or would they wish to respond? I think we got our answer, but do you want to respond to anything?
Well, first, thank you for buying from our store. We appreciate it. But we also wanted to let you know that KFC and QSRs, we do more than just sell chicken. We train the future employees of the country. We are the only organizations that will take in a 16-year-old and train them. And so this will be a good training ground. It'll be a good store. It'll be 2 stores in one site. We will provide more employment for the community. Monique here is our area coach. She's responsible for that area. And I think that, people don't really appreciate what we do. We train, I'm sure a lot of you worked in fast food when you were younger. And we take that, in our organization, we have 71 restaurants. We take that training really seriously. and we do invest in our people. And so those are really important for us, and we like being in Hawthorne.
Thank you. And Mr. McLean, are there any documents to place into the administrative record?
No.
Do my fellow commissioners have any final comments on the item or questions for staff?
I've got no further questions.
No further questions.
I now formally close the public hearing on these items.
We're going to do this in two motions and two votes. The first one will be for the conditional use permit, which is for the approval of a drive-through.
Is that the CU 2024-0008?
Yeah, that's correct.
Then I motion to approve
I second.
conditional use permit 2024-0008.
I second.
Please call for the vote.
Okay, just one second. Okay, Vice Chairperson Cohens,
Approve?
Commissioner Houston,
Approve.
Commissioner Swamy.
Approved.
Okay, the conditional use permit is approved. Now for the design review. We'll need a motion and a second.
I motion to approve.
Commissioner Houston,
Approved.
Commissioner Swamy,
Approved.
and Vice Chairperson Cohens.
Approve.
So this is also approved.
Craig, do you also do an adoption motion to approve the adoption of the notice exemption?
Yeah, that's part of the motion, yeah. I'll do a separate one.
The NOE was in there?
To make sure to adopt the staff's recommendation.
I would actually concur with his statement there to do that, the NOE.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, from a legal perspective,
Yes.
I would feel more comfortable with it.
I'm okay with it.
I'm very okay with it.
Okay, so we'll need a motion.
Okay. Motion to approve the
To adopt.
NOE
Yeah,
or
to
to adopt
adopt.
the NOE.
Oh, yeah. Second.
Okay, Vice Chairperson Cohens,
Approve?
Commissioner Houston,
Approved.
Commissioner Swamy. Okay, that's also approved
Okay.
or adopted.
I know, quick question. I know the property with that, I'm backtracking a little bit, but we did do an NOE also on that property as well, right?
In that case, you move to adopt and approve the staff's recommendations, so I'm okay with it. And
Okay.
now, as I'm learning the process here, how we do it here, I like the clarification on this second go-around. And
Okay.
I can work with staff as to how we can do it in the future if we like.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good, just, for the liability for the city.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome to do that when applicable.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So we don't have to back to the hotel
No,
section?
no,
it's
I
okay.
think we're good.
No,
then.
our recommendation included both parts there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So this is now item number 2, change of zone application CZ 2025-0001 for the Hawthorne Municipal Airport.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. Now is the time and place to open the public hearing to consider change of zone application 2025-0001. Senior Planner Maria Maherick.
My
No, I
hair.
gave you a headache, right? I'm just kidding.
Maherick.
Maherick. I'm messing up her name. I'm so sorry.
it's
I feel like I'm
okay.
gutting it.
No.
Senior Planner Maria Maherick will present the staff report.
Good evening, Commissioners. This last application is for the freeway overlay expansion, CZ 2025-0001. Specifically, it's for the project site where the airport master plan or the Hawthorne Municipal Airport is located. It has a master plan, that's the zone. What we want to do, or we would like to do, is put an overlay on the airport to include it within the freeway overlay zone. These are the current site conditions of the airport. I just took photos from the corners off of Crenshaw Boulevard and 120th Street and Prairie Avenue and 120th, so on each end of the airport. As you can see right now, this is the existing freeway overlay zone map. All of those blue areas are the properties that are included within this overlay. Right now, the Hawthorne Airport is not. And So the freeway overlay zone will allow us, if approved, to open it up for billboards, etc. So this is what it would look like if we included the Hawthorne Airport within the freeway overlay zone. It's the only property we want to include since it's so close to the freeway as well. Other than that, that is simply what this is, a zone change to place an overlay zone on the property.
I'd like to add just a little bit to that. It looks a little bit random or haphazard how that was decided. So the freeway overlay is misnamed. It's really for billboards.
It is.
And but that aside, the way that it was mapped was 500 feet from the freeway, including commercial properties only. So the gaps are residential, and the airport is clearly, portion of it is clearly within the 500 feet, but it was deliberately left out because it's a city property and we didn't think we were ever going to put a billboard on there. Circumstances have changed now. We lease the airport. So putting it on is still in compliance with the original intent.
It is.
Does the Planning Commission have any questions for staff?
I don't have any questions.
I mean, I just guess, why do we think we need more billboards?
That's an application we received from the operators of the airport. So it's not a decision that we made that we need more billboards. It's that they want to have a billboard and they're entitled to go through the application process.
Copy, got it.
And when you say operators of the airport,
Yes,
does that mean, what exactly does that mean? Who are the operators?
the applicant. I don't know all the ins and outs of how the airport is managed because there's different things that are going on there with regard to flights and properties within the airport that are leased separately. Hangars are done differently. I don't know specifically what aspects this applicant does. They might be able to tell you, but they are leasing the entire airport from the city. We're the landlord.
It says the applicant's the city of Hawthorne.
No, that's a mistake.
That's an
Oh.
error.
It's Advanced Air LLC.
Yes.
Okay, that's where I
Okay,
was
sorry, that
confused here.
explains the
I wasn't sure who
confusion.
was asking. That's where the confusion is now.
Yeah.
So it's not the city of Hawthorne, but the applicants are
Yeah, no, it's
the
the
individuals
it's
who
the leasee of
right
the
now are
airport.
the leasing.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me see here. Let me see. I do have some questions and concerns on. Can you tell me? I know we wanted to change the zone map, right? But they're going through there. There was a suggestion of where the design or the billboard is going to be.
Yeah, now, the billboard would be under a separate application, which you'll get later if you approve this. But the billboards are included in the environmental analysis, so I can tell you where they are. The proposed billboards would be at the northwest corner of the airport and the southeast corner. And the reason they chose those locations is because the airport runway is tilted to the, well, it's tilted counterclockwise a little bit. So those are the furthest from the runway, furthest points from the runway within the property. So in other words, for those of you that are familiar with the area, it would be near the Eureka restaurant on the one side, and then at the other would be the opposite corner, and I don't remember the name of the businesses over there, but it's at the intersection of 120th and Prairie.
Okay.
Aren't there a lot of
And-
new building apartments right there, or condos?
Don't believe
On
there's
that
any
corner
new.
by Eureka, aren't there a bunch of?
Oh, across the street, but
Across the street?
they're further to the south.
Are these digital billboards or would they be static?
Yes, digital.
Well, let me tell you what my concern is. We have airplanes coming in, right? Is that runway 25 right there coming in? Or, okay, a
25 or
runway.
7 or whatever, yeah.
When you're coming in,
Yeah. You
wouldn't
would-
it blind?
No, it's been cleared by the FAA because you would be looking at the edge of the billboard, so it would be shining to the sides. So in other words, you come in flying westward, right? The billboard, the proposed billboards are going to be facing north and south.
Okay.
Well, at least the one at the entrance to the airport is. I'm not 100% sure on the other one yet, but
Okay.
the one that would be closest to where you're going to land is the north-south facing.
Okay. Well, this is the thing. So I would think that if you were a pilot coming in, that where it's located, I don't think I have a major problem with billboards. It's a good idea to put digital, advertisement. But that one location, I would say was right in front of the Eureka, where you land on there, it would create a distraction for the pilot.
Well, it was clear,
It'll create spatial disorientation.
Yeah, well, it was cleared by the FAA, and light and glare was part of the CEQA study that was done on this, and we have our consultant here to speak to that.
I know the FAA well. Can I discuss something with you? I'm not sure if I could even say this in front of the dais, or I guess I could. I know the FAA will. Okay, I'm not going to say that because I can't speak for the FAA.
Maybe I can talk to you just for a second.
Thank you.
We'll be in recess for a minute or two.
Thank you.
No further questions?
Is the applicant present and do they wish to speak?
I don't know, I was thinking that. Okay, then we have.
We still have to go through a billboard.
Good evening, Chair. My name is Juan Garza. I actually represent Advanced Air. So we're actually the applicant for this that's before you today. Just a reminder that what's before you today is just for a zone change. It's an overlay. The actual project itself will be coming before you at a future point in time. This is just strictly for you to consider whether to change this or not. The other thing I wanted to share with you that may not be reflected on the actual report before you is that as a matter of background, the city itself, unfortunately in the past, had a contention with the applicant. And so part of the settlement that the city had with the applicant was to allow for the construction of billboards within the site. So this is part of that process. This will be going before the city council to have final approval when the actual application for the billboards comes before. But at this point in time, this is strictly for the consideration of the overlay. And I know that it was actually studied. It's gotten full environmental clearance. It's been approved by the FAA as well. So before you today, we're just happy to answer any questions you may have with regards to the overlay zone consideration.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant there?
I think I'm What do you mean there's something with the city with Advanced Air? What are you
So,
talking about there?
good question. So years past, there was unfortunately a difference of opinion regarding some operations between the airport operator and the city. And so unfortunately, they went to court. And so part of the settlement when the city and the applicant settled was to allow for the operation of 2 billboards within the site. And so these billboards cannot be actually placed on the site until it's properly zoned. At this point in time, the current zone that's in the airport site does not allow for billboards to be placed on there. So in order for billboards to be considered for the site, it needs to have this overlay zone be adopted first.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, so, but just a quick question. If there was a sign put up, hypothetically, in front of Eureka, do you think that would create any harm at all with Pilot Landing? Because if they have any type of distractions at all, they can have possible spatial disorientation. This could lead to a fatal aircraft accident. I mean, what? Go ahead.
Thank you. Good question. Again, just a reminder, respectfully, the reminder that this is to consider an overlay zone. It's not the actual projects themselves. We're comforted by the fact that the FAA itself already approved this for this project. We're expect that the FAA wouldn't approve for these projects if there was any danger to pilots. I would expect that once this comes before the city council for them to consider, that would be something that would be clarified before them. We would have lighting experts, obviously billboard experts that be able to attest to that. Citing billboards on airport grounds, it's not unique to this situation. There is precedent. But again, we would be able to have the experts be able to answer those questions at the appropriate time.
Okay. Question for you.
Sure.
Would it put the city in liability if there happened to be an accident due to this digital sign?
Right.
Who is responsible for the liability if there was one, if there was an approach,
Right.
and there was a crash, and due to those circumstances?
In response to your question, I think this gentleman has identified some of the issues. Right now, we're just dealing with the overlay issue.
I can't hear you, so sorry.
Just right now, we're dealing with the overlay issue. And I do feel some level of comfort relying with FAA approvals, as our planning director has indicated. Subsequent to this, if there ever is an application for a billboard, that will probably come with conditions of approval that will have indemnification provisions that will protect the city. And so if your concern is about city liability at this point, I'm okay with that. At a subsequent date, if there's a future project for a billboard, I think I know we will put in protections for the city to protect it against liability. But ultimately, we want to make sure that pilots are able to land. And I can double check and make sure we can look at the FAA approvals to make sure that that was covered.
Okay. And of course, the city liability, and of course, we do have constituents, and we have a whole bunch of stuff going on there. So that would all carry the so that responsibility is going to be
Probably
covered?
Yes, it will be. I feel confident.
Okay.
If I may, Chair?
Yes.
Your concerns are valid, not to dismiss them at all. And as the attorney said, absolutely, once we get to that point, we're more than happy to work with the city to ensure that this project is done safely. It's done with all conditions, not only to your satisfaction, but to the council's satisfaction as well. We're not in the business of trying to endanger the public nor any pilot. So you can rest assured that when we get to that point in time, we will make sure that this project is safe and it's done appropriately.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to address the commission on this issue? Mr. McLean, are there any documents to place into the administrative record?
Yes, we did receive one email from a Mr. Herb Child, and he's expressing concern related to a, what does he call it? The housing project that he has. And he objects to the project if it would interfere in any way with the comfort and enjoyment of his tenants. The property that he's referencing is in the right in the middle of the airport in terms of east-west. So if you look at the map, you'll see an area north of the airport that is pink. That's the property that he's concerned with. I don't think that's literally a half mile from each of the billboards, so I don't think he would object if he had that information. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today, but I'll let his email speak for itself, though.
Now, trying to look, my eyes are really bad, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at, so it's across the street, right in the middle?
Yeah, it's across the street to the north, and it's right in the middle.
That's what I was just wanted to make
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So, okay.
So you'll notice that the property due east of the property he's referencing is in the billboard overlay. So, I mean, that would be a concern. I think that would be really worth considering at the time if anybody ever made an application for a billboard there. But in this case, since we're talking about potential billboards at the opposite corners of the airport, I don't think that they'll even see them, to be honest.
Okay, got it. Okay. Do my fellow commissions have any final comments on this item or questions for staff?
I don't have any further questions.
Any questions, Commissioner Houston? Well, thoughts, I guess, too, right? Let me see here. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're going the cart before the horse on this one. It feels like to me that there's something between the city and then Advanced Air, and that now we want to change zoning because of something, even though we don't know what's going to be there or how it's going to be. And I've seen things like this happen before. I got a billboard in my neighborhood with something like this, and it's not fun. And it's over a half a mile away, and it lights up our entire green trail. So it's, again, I'm going back to what I am supposed to be voting on here for what this is and what my job is here as a commissioner. But it doesn't feel good to me. So I guess I'm making more of a statement than a question. And I'm just wondering, city attorney, if this has to go in front of the council again, for it to come back to us, is there anything we can set here for notices to residents, to notices of a distance that has to be given to residents so they are aware of what's going to be happening, and they can't change it so that it's 250 feet, so that's a parking lot, so anyone that lives there won't even have the opportunity to come and speak their mind on it? Can we put something in our resolution here?
I wouldn't necessarily change the resolution, but I think staff has just been notified that you want to make sure that the public is properly informed, and I don't think that'll be an issue.
I think I want to make sure that it's not, the barriers aren't set, that there's no housing within that barrier, and that it's actually within people that are going to be there are going to get notified.
So there are three paths forward. One, of course, is to approve it. The other is to not approve, but recommend approval. The other would be to recommend denial. And the third would be to continue it. And what you could do is continue it.
I'm sorry, what did you say at the beginning? Recommend to do what? What was that first statement?
There's three paths. You can recommend the city council approve this, or you can recommend the city council deny it. And the last option is that you can continue this until the city has negotiated the billboard agreement, and then you can take the two together. Because both of them are going to be done by the city council ultimately, so it doesn't really cause any delay. So at that point, you would have the billboard agreement, which would have all the details about the billboards, both of them. There'll be two applications, actually. And you would have all of the information with regard to the exact locations, the orientations, you could review again the CEQA analysis, because it covers both parts of the application, the overlay and the billboard. And that way, when you make your recommendation to the council, at least you probably have the level of confidence that you know enough about the projects to move it forward. So my recommendation would be to do that, but you do not have to take my recommendation. You can still recommend denial or approval too.
Obviously, I have my concerns. because I'm thinking about the residents. Not only just because it may be a distraction, big old billboard, I can't go to sleep at night. I'm actually going further than that. I'm actually worried about the safety of the constituents that are on the ground. If there is an accident, it'll be unforgivable. So that's my dilemma. Let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
Are we able to take this project, is this an option, and let the city council make that decision?
It's much better if it comes with a recommendation, because they could just send it right back and ask for a recommendation, and your role is to give them recommendations. Now, keep in mind also that you'll have 2 billboard applications, and they don't have to both follow the same path. So you might want to have different conditions on one than the other. So there's a lot of options available to you, but I would not recommend sending something to the city council without a recommendation attached.
Can you just give me a second? I'm just looking at my notes. How much revenue is the city getting for this?
It hasn't been negotiated yet. The reason we don't have the billboard agreement is because we don't have the agreement terms yet. So the city will begin negotiating, well, immediately after this, and then we'll be able to answer that, and you'll have access to that whenever the billboard agreements come before you.
Mr. McLean, what was your third option again to able to continue the matter?
Continue the item until the billboard agreements are ready.
These are my concerns. The visual and aesthetic impact. And how do the residents feel about those billboards? The look and feel of the community. I'm just curious to see how it would change the community.
Yeah.
That's number one. The light and glare, digital screens could create light pollution, and especially at night for the nearby neighborhoods. It's one concern. Second concern would be, of course, the pilots who land there, the glare, and a possible accident, possible spatial disorientation. This could lead, like I said, to a fatal aircraft accident.
Right, but at this point, you're really on the discussion of the billboards themselves, and this is outside of the scope of this application. So again, I would recommend that you probably want to continue this so that you can deal with all of it as a holistic project.
Okay. Well, my whole thing, I think it kind of goes one, if it's an overlay.
Yeah, well, the overlay would also allow a static billboard. So
I'm sorry?
It would also allow a static billboard without glare. So.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Now, that's something
that's
that
why,
I never
that's
really
why
considered.
I say when you're getting into
I'm
the
thinking,
details of the.
you're, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
I think Mr. McLean is absolutely correct. Given the concerns of at least 2 out of the 3 commission members tonight, I would recommend continuing the matter so you can get all of the information before you and make a fully informed decision. And I suspect that the 3rd member of the commission might have those concerns as well.
I would also add that given that we don't have any set date on when the billboard applications will come back, this will be renoticed as well. So all of it will be noticed together as a complete package to everyone in the surrounding area.
Okay.
What is that notice area? How far?
300 feet, right? Yeah, it's 300 feet from the outside boundaries of the property in question, so it goes all the way around the airport, and it picks up all the properties that are within 300 feet. Even if it's just a sliver, they still get notified, but it won't go beyond.
Can we ask it to go beyond that?
It would require a code amendment.
Okay, thank you.
Let me hear just one second. Land use. I took a lot of notes on this one. Okay. Resident compliance. And you guys will receive I know this is just an overlay, but okay. Since it's just an overlay, then I'm ready to make a decision. Let me see here. I now formally close the public hearing for these items. Oh, wait. Do I have a motion for this application? Go ahead. I have a motion to continue.
I second that
To a date
motion.
uncertain?
Hmm?
To a date uncertain.
To a date uncertain.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Vice Chairperson Cohens?
Approve.
And yes,
To the-
you're approving the
yes,
motion.
yes,
Got it.
approving the motion.
Commissioner Houston?
I approve the motion to continue.
Okay. Commissioner Swamy?
Approve the motion to continue.
Okay, so this is continue to a date uncertain. It will be re-noticed through the newspaper and mailing at the time that it comes back, but it will also be coupled with the billboard agreements.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, from this point, that's all the applications we have. We were asked to put some discussion items on the agenda, and I have 3 of them. The first one was a request of the chairperson, Ryan Richard. It was regarding tobacco specialty stores. I don't know if you want to have that discussion without him, because he was to lead it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, okay, then the next one was parking, but I'm trying to remember what exactly about parking that was.
Permitting. Permitting? It was about permitting in the hotels and the city streets of a lack of it, and we were talking about different permitting options
Okay.
for the city around those areas.
Yeah. What I can tell you is that the city commissioned a study, and it's ongoing. It isn't done yet because it was just commissioned a couple months ago, to look at parking and the 2 aspects of parking. One was street parking, primarily in the commercial zones, and the other is residential parking. Now, we're looking at making a lot of changes in the future with the new general plan, and that'll lead to new zoning and everything. And I have some zoning code amendments that I've been working on. And so what we don't want to do is make the parking situation worse, because as I mentioned earlier in the meeting, parking is a serious issue all over the city, So what we're specifically looking at is the possibility of metered parking on Hawthorne Boulevard and on Jack Northrop. And that is further along than the other alternatives that we have, which is for residential parking. We're going to be studying the feasibility of parking districts with permits. Okay. The problem with that is there's probably 25 to 30 variables that have to be hammered out, and it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all. So every neighborhood, and it could be literally every block, may need a different solution. And I can guarantee you that it's going to make more people unhappy than happy, but any other solution that we've ever thought of doesn't address the problem. Okay, so the issue is there's only so much street parking available, and there are more cars on every block than there are spaces on the street. Okay, so the answer is you dole them out in some fashion, and that could be by lottery or first come, first serve, or all kinds of other options. And then everyone else has to find the parking on their own property. Now, every property in the city is developed with, so far, this is changing unfortunately, but is developed with parking on the property. And that's going to have to be the solution. People are going to have to park on their properties if they don't get the street parking permit. So you can imagine it's going to make a lot of people very unhappy. But any other solution we've thought of is, it doesn't solve the problem at all, because I think every block in the city and every block in Southern California, there's always at least one family that has lots and lots of cars, it seems like. And they ruin life for everybody around them because they take up all the street parking spaces and they move to just for trash day. That's the reality we're trying to confront. So that is going to be a very slow and careful process that gets rolled out over time. And it will, at this point, we don't have anything to report back on that. But with regard to the metered parking, we are going to be doing a pilot program very soon, and we'll have more details later. So I don't know if you have any questions about it or if you have any suggestions. This is the time for you guys to, discuss.
No, I don't have any questions about it. I think it's great. I think something needs to be done. It's coming back to me now that we're here. It's that a lot of complaints too that were here was that it was the body shops that would
Yeah,
park all
yeah.
of their cars.
Exactly. So, yeah. So, I know that a lot of residents bring this issue up, and as long as I've ever worked here or any other city, that's always the case. Parking is always an issue. And the good news is we're not ignoring the problem. The bad news is that it's such a complex problem that it's going to take time. But we'll probably start with a pilot program and probably pick a neighborhood that is more impacted than others, and so we have a couple of ideas where that would be based on what we've heard, and give it a try and see how it works out. But we're still probably very many months away from doing anything like that, because as I said, there's so many variables. Everything from the cost to do we issue more permits than there are spaces, or exactly the same numbers of permits as spaces, the duration. I mean, is it a 1-year permit? Is it a renewable? Is it a lifetime permit? There's just all kinds of things that have to be resolved. So as we get closer, we'll be reporting back to you on where we're going with that.
Quick question
Sure.
going back to the auto shops.
Mhm.
Are they allowed to park in the streets? I
Yeah,
mean,
see-
it's like a big old gray area right there.
Yeah.
Because I don't see anything
So that's
them prohibiting it.
This is part of the complexity of this. You see, public streets are available for public parking, and in theory, they're just putting cars there, and they probably shouldn't be. So the solution would be to prohibit them. So in other words, you have to have the right sticker. Would probably be license plate readers, so that we'll know which cars belong on the block. And in that case, then they'll be ticketed. But what I know happens, and particularly with the auto repairs, is that a customer will drive up, park on the street, and then go into the place to talk to the person, because rather than pull onto the lot, which already has a lot of cars and it's kind of a mess. So you can't prohibit that. That's public parking, right? So until we have districts with restrictions and limitations on the parking, yeah, they can, but they shouldn't.
Okay.
Anyway.
And there's nothing that could be put in.
Well, you can't
in an
single out.
ordinance or you can't.
It's like the hotel one. You can't single out certain users that are prohibited unless you do a program that is based on residency.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Any other questions on that one? Okay. Well, like I said, we'll have more to report to you as it develops. And the last one we titled Intergovernmental Relations. This was in response to the raids and so forth that were going on. And I framed it in terms of intergovernmental relations because we're dealing with the friction that exists between the federal government and the city government.
Correct.
So I'm open to answer any questions you have. I really don't have anything more to say than was already said at the city council meeting, which was basically there are different levels of government that have different responsibilities, and we don't overlap in most cases. And so, for example, the city cannot enforce immigration, but not that we would, but we can't. And there's little that we can actually do to supersede the power of a higher level of government, such as the state or the federal government. There was a handout that was given to the commission at one meeting, and it had some suggestions. Most of those can be addressed through that. We cannot regulate a higher level of government. I will say, though, that with regard to any federal enforcement arms looking for permits or approvals from the city for facilities, no applications have been received, but no application would necessarily be required, because the way that our code is written, the city and the state and the federal government are exempt from our zoning, so you wouldn't get those applications. However, the federal government does alert cities whenever it's looking to rent property in the city, and I have not received a single application or, notice. And they give you an opportunity to object too. I haven't received any for over a decade, so there's that. The issue is the enforcement activity itself. They're not asking for any staging areas or anything in the city right now.
I mean, it's like I'm just thinking that really, there's really no room to do anything. Well,
Well, as a government, it's different than as an individual, and everybody has a different risk level. I mean, obviously, some people are not going to want to stand out, and others are you know. So one of the things that was brought up at the city council meeting is that, you know, city council meetings are monitored, and you may not want to stick your head up and get whacked like a whack-a-mole, like some cities to the east of us have done. And
exactly, open Pandora's box. But,
Isn't the scope of the planning commission also limited by the government code?
it is, but this is a discussion, and we're not voting on anything. So
I'm just talking about in
yeah.
general, as far as the role of the planning commission and
Yeah.
their authorities.
You have very little role, to be honest. You can make recommendations to the city council, but you know, they've already heard directly from the
well, that's what I was
from the
also going to say. I was
constituents, yeah.
going to say that, you know, we'll let the council take care of all that. But
Yeah.
is it possible, I guess, I know that when we start the general plan, a recommendation, and I'm pretty sure it does sound like that, but make sure there is inclusiveness.
Yeah,
with all.
in limited capacity. Yeah,
Yeah.
the general plan does have specific focus areas which are reflected in the various elements. I don't think there's anything that we could address that is specific to the problems that we're experiencing now. But there are certain, I guess, reassurances and statements that can be written into these documents, but they have to be relevant to the topic. So safety is one. Environmental justice is one, but it doesn't strictly apply because it's not an environmental issue. So I'm not sure where else. Land use, no. Housing, no. I mean, so it's our jurisdiction is limited by state and federal law.
Correct.
And honestly, we wouldn't be able to like prohibit federal facilities in the city if we wanted to, because they just overrule us.
Oh, yeah, I know that, yeah, that's correct. Okay, but just as long as it's inclusive, that's the only thing that matters to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Within writing, within the general plan. And of course, you know, we have the city council who takes care of all the other things.
The hard stuff, yeah.
So if anybody has any questions or whatever, they can just go directly to our city council.
Which they have.
To their meetings and so
Yeah.
forth, if they have any issues and problems. Okay.
Okay, so if there's nothing else to say on that, we don't have anything specific to put on future agendas or to alert anyone to, other than the billboard agreements and the overlay that will be scheduled for a future meeting. There are some other currently there's a continued hotel, I think, and I'm not sure if there's anything else, but nothing new to speak of at this point.
Okay. Sounds good.
So we're on the second I.
And commissioner reports, we'll start with Commissioner Somi.
I don't have any commissioner reports for today.
And Commissioner Houston, any commission reports?
Just thank you to all the applicants and the people that came to speak. I actually learned something and had a change of opinion today. I have to admit, when I first saw the KFC, I was like, does Hawthorne need another quick service restaurant? And the applicant brought up about their training programs and the things they do and how they wrap around the community and those children and those kids to give them skills, and it changed my thought process on it. So I want to just say a thank you to that, because I do see the value in that, and how that is a good thing to have here in Hawthorne. So when I have a wrong thinking in something and my mind has changed, I like to admit it, because I always think that's a good thing to do, because you grow. And I just wanted to share that and just say thank you to everyone that came here today for your time, and to my fellow commissioners and staff for your reporting. So.
Okay. Again, I do appreciate restaurants who come, because I love food. So if you're a restaurant or entertainment or anything like that, if you want to bring all those type of companies to the city of Hawthorne, please do so. We welcome you with open arms.
But you're not prejudging the application.
Exactly. We're not, you know. So I want to thank everybody here. And again, people who come, I really appreciate if you have any concerns with any part of your community and so forth, please, we'd like for you to speak up. You're our eyes sometimes, so I do thank you. And so the meeting is adjourned at 7:43 p.m. to the next regular meeting of August 6th, 2025.